Field in Seattle. We get set to go between OL Reign and Gotham FC. This is a first meeting this year between these two sides. They'll play twice towards the end of the season, and we'll get going in a place where a lot of winning dreams come to die in Seattle. Alongside Dan Lauletta, I'm Maura Sheridan. Glad to have you along with us. Let's take a look at the standings in the NWSL right now. This is an OL Reign team floating just above that playoff line.
Only 1 point in their last 2 matches, and that has put them perilously close to falling outside that precious top 6. Gotham FC, meanwhile, they're now off the top 10 here. They've got just 12 points. They are desperate for a result as they bring in a new interim head coach for this one. We'll talk about that as we get on with the broadcast today.
Well, Bethany Balser makes her return to the OL Reign lineup, and Balser, again, back after 3 games missed with an illness. She had not missed a game with the Reign previously, and they are just very happy to have someone back that scored 4 goals this year.
She'll be on the bench to open this one, but Balser, as you mentioned, didn't miss a game, came within 1 of tying Lauren Barnes' record for consecutive appearances in an OL Reign shirt, then missed the last 3. It'll be nice to have her as an option to score a goal off the bench if needed for OL Reign this afternoon.
Well, this is a Gotham team in the midst of a lot of change, but one thing that has remained steady is having a player like Mitch Purse.
Mitch Purse, U.S. national team forward, 3 goals, couple of assists in 8 matches this season for Gotham FC. But the big thing for Gotham is they've got to get Mitch Purse on the ball more often. There you see her teaming up with longtime teammate Ifeoma Anamano, who is back on the bench tonight as well after missing some time with an illness. The more Mitch Purse gets on the ball, the better Gotham FC are. That's been a problem, though, in recent matches.
Yeah, we just haven't seen them pair up together much this year because of so many COVID issues and international duty between the pair. So finally, we'll see them for Gotham. We'll see how Reign handle them today. On the other side, lineups and first kick from Seattle, OL Reign and Gotham FC is coming up after this. Welcome back to Seattle as we get set to go. OL Reign and Gotham FC coming up on this Sunday afternoon in NWSL play. Again, alongside Dan Lauletta, I'm Maura Sheridan. So glad to have you along with us. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for the Seattle side in OL Reign. Well, the Reign have brought in Haitama, and I know they're very excited about bringing Haitama in, and she'll be up top. And Huerta, of course, providing a lot of service for this Reign side. Yeah, that's Haitama up top in between Rapinoe and King, with Huerta at right back. Laura Harvey has had a lot of different lineup variations this season. She said today will be close, but not exactly what she has envisioned for the premium OL Reign lineup in 2022. Yeah, in 15 matches, they've only used the same lineup twice. Well, for Gotham FC, this is a team that's going through a lot of change. They let Scott Perkinson go this week, and they've hired a new coach on an interim level. That is going to be Hugh Menzies. Took Jamaica to the Women's World Cup in 2019. They got blanked in 3 matches, did score 1 goal. That was by Havana Solano, who used to actually play briefly for the Reign here in Seattle, also the 2018 CONCACAF Women's Coach of the Year. Well, this is the first lineup that Menzies is going to put out, and Dan, it's not any different than the last one. Yeah, a little bit of a curveball to me. After a poor performance in Chicago, that Menzies decided to come with the exact same lineup. But this is it. Some players, Dorsey, Anamano, are coming back from being sick, so maybe that's part of the reason. I think you'll see Dorsey get in a little bit for Jean there at left back. Well, we are moments away from first kick here in Seattle. You see Rose Lavelle wearing blue for OL Reign, and then in white, that's going to be Gotham on the road. And we're underway. Matthew Corrigan is the head referee today in Seattle, and again, Dan Lauletta and Maura Sheridan along for the ride. This is one of 2 matches in the NWSL today. The other is the nightcap, Chicago and Angel City, as Rapinoe already off to the races. Cleared out by Mandy Freeman on the Gotham side. McCall Zerboni, 14,900 minutes in the NWSL. Only 1 player has more NWSL minutes than Gotham's Zerboni. Can you name her, Dan? Lauren Barnes of OL Reign. Yes. And so we've got a lot of seasoned vets on both sides today.
Should be in Gotham's next game. That Zerboni joins Barnes in the 15,000-minute club.
Yeah, they'd be the only two. We've actually got 3 players available from each side that have played over 10,000 NWSL minutes. Fishlock, Huerta, and Barnes, of course, on the OL Reign side. And then you've got Johnson, Mewis, and Zerboni, all with over 10,000 available on Gotham's side, because you also have Ashlyn Harris, Allie Long, and Allie Krieger, who are not playing today. Harris and Krieger have an excused absence, and so they have missed the last 2 for Gotham. Well, here comes Monahan, pass behind Midge Purse, off to Taylor Smith, picked up off the waivers, and Smith lets it rip. It's way into the stands here at Lumen.
So it is the second straight start for Michelle Betos in goal, as you look at Alana Cook, who is the star of the back line here for OL Reign and making her way into that U.S. national team picture. But it's notable that Betos in 4 matches has given up 4 goals. Ashlyn Harris in 8 matches gave up 20 goals. So the goals against average is 1 even for Betos, 2.5 for Ashlyn Harris. That could be partly coincidence, but it kind of feels like the team plays a lot better defensively in front of Betos than they do Harris.
Well, again, Betos with 2 straight appearances. It was a tough match for Gotham in a 2-0 loss to Chicago last week. Really just outplayed in that game, and then Parkinson let go this week. Here comes Lavelle. Tap off to Betos. Ever so close, because Rose Lavelle closing in. Yeah, it's been 3 straight without a win for Gotham. King floats through, takes it wide, across in front, and a nice look there for Megan Rapinoe.
First real good chance of the match there sees King streaking down the right side. We'll get one more look at it as King beats Ellie Jean, and Rapinoe almost got there, but a couple of Gotham defenders made it difficult on her.
Well, Rapinoe did score in the last match for OL Reign. I know they were not happy with that game. Lost to Houston here at Lumen Field. It had been 7 games at home without a loss for the Reign in Seattle. And then Houston, who's been playing extremely well under a new coach, by the way. Juan Carlos Emeros just took over as the acting head coach or interim head coach for Houston. They are on a nice little streak, has them at the top of the table in the NWSL. But they came here and just took down Megan Rapinoe and this Reign side in a bit of a surprising result.
The match before that, they put
As Rapinoe sends it wide.
They put 4 goals on Gotham in Amoros's coaching debut. I guess that was his 2nd game as head coach. And a 4-2 win at Red Bull Arena back in New Jersey.
And Gotham has been on the opposite end of some really tough losses this year, that being one of them. And this is a team that, you know, they are giving up a lot of goals. They've conceded 24 goals, Gotham has. But I think the most important stat for this New Jersey, New York side is that they've only scored 9 goals this year.
And they certainly have the talent on this club to score more than that. And that's been their problem right there, is they do not get the ball in possession enough into the opponent's half of the pitch.
Well, here comes Fishlock. Jess Fishlock taking off. Cuts it back to Rose Lavelle. Controls. Now Huerta, so dangerous on these services. Put this one in towards the back post, and Freeman is able to break it up. Rapinoe off the bounce. Nice pass to Fishlock. Mewis says no. Rapinoe tapped out by Christy Mewis, of course, teammates on the U.S. Women's National Team. Rapinoe wants to go quickly. Caprice Didasco. Rapinoe gets it back. Here she comes. Turns, looking for a better option. Lots of touches in the box early here for the Reign side. Quinn. Huerta, a swing now. King. Little tripped up. Jean guarding well. So back to Huerta. There's that service! And Lavelle misses. Haitama had a pretty good chance on that too, and slips by both Reign players.
Not sure if Heidema had deflected that or just screened Lavelle enough that Lavelle couldn't get anything on it. Let's take another look. King goes back to Huerta. That's a dangerous combination on the right-hand side. And maybe Heidema just got a foot on it and it deflected it out of the path of Lavelle. That play also went against Ellie Jean, the left back for Gotham, who started last week when Amani Dorsey was in COVID protocols, and I thought Jean got exposed a little bit in that match. Dorsey is back, but kind of just getting back into fitness, so on the bench tonight. As I said, I would expect her to make an appearance, but I'll be curious to see how often the Reign try to attack down Jean's side with the reigning NWSL Defender of the Year, Caprice Didasco, on the opposite outside back spot.
There's Jean. Flick from Mewis intended for Zerboni. Alana Cook, Sam Hyatt. Smith trying to make some noise. Back to Fallon Tullis-Joyce in net for OL Reign. She's been so solid back there for this Seattle side. 6 shutouts. If she gets another one, she would pass Bella Bixby for the most shutouts in the NWSL this year. All in all, this defensive unit for the Reign has been unbelievably strong. 14 goals allowed over the course of the season. That is the lowest, tied with San Diego. After San Diego played yesterday, gave up a goal and a loss. Huerta. Lavelle. See, Laura Harvey, head coach for OL Reign. She, of course, has had such a fantastic NWSL career, whether it's with Seattle, Utah. Heitema, here's some time. Rapinoe takes a shot and it's blocked away. Didasco got in front of that. Relentless attack here from OL Reign. No goals to show for it quite yet. There's Barnes. Again, Harvey is 1 win away from setting a NWSL season record, regular season record. 82 career wins. That would be the all-time, so she'd be the all-time winningest coach. We've been saying that for the last 2 matches and she hasn't been able to do it. It's been a draw and a loss for the Reign in their last 2.
Both from 1 goal up, I might add. The previous match when she tied the record, they were 2 down to Angel City and rallied for 3 unanswered.
One of the better NWSL games this season. Rapinoe stumbles, still has it, tries across to Heitema, and Freeman got in front of that, but here comes King, rips a shot, and it's off the post, off the rebound, a second chance. Mewis blocks. King right back at it. Heitema. Everyone's slipping and sliding here. Barnes goes down, Purse trying to edge it out. King gets it right back. Off the swipe to Fishlock. Rapinoe rips a shot, and it's way high.
Not a bad series of chances there, considering it started with Rapinoe slipping and going to ground, which is about to happen right here with Didasco. Gives Didasco a chance to close her down. Cross went over Heitema. Nobody picked up King. She whacks it off the post.
Well, a series of chances has kind of been the story for OL Reign in the last 2, and they just haven't been able to convert. You go back 2 games to the Racing Louisville draw, they should have won that game, no doubt about it. Katie Lund was forced to make 12 saves, and it was just a 1-1 draw for the Reign. Here comes Smith, corner coming for Gotham.
Lund was terrific in that game. Also some opportunities squandered by OL Reign, and essentially a week ago they were dominating Houston, and Ebony Salmon scored twice in about 3 minutes, and next thing you know they were behind and couldn't get off the mat from 2-1 down.
Yeah, that started when Quinn got knocked for a handball. PK for Salmon, scores 2 minutes later, and that's all she wrote on that match. Here's a service, Smith. Header. Offside is called. Looks like Haitama slow to get up.
If you're just joining us, and most recently we're tuned in for the match on Saturday night between the Wave and Orlando. It might have escaped your periphery that Kaylin Sheridan actually got a red card in that game after the final whistle. So the Wave keeper won't be in action next weekend.
Yeah, a bizarre finish. A good thing for San Diego is Carly Telford has proven to be very solid. Quinn. Rapinoe. Looking for options off to Haitama, blazing forward. King lofts one up. Well, you see that OL Reign are wearing new armbands being worn to highlight Black-owned businesses in Seattle. They will wear them for the remaining days of August. You can kind of see it on Barnes. It's on that left side.
Not the best color match there against the dark blue of the Reign home jerseys.
Cook.
Just going to say Gotham again unable to get the ball forward with any sort of meaning.
Jean with that shove from behind. Well, the Reign have 5 wins this year, 6 draws. But for Gotham on the flip side, just 4 wins, 8 losses. They have not played to a draw at all this season. And, you know, at this point, they don't want to draw. They can't really have them. I mean, this is a team that needs to start picking up wins. And of course, there's just a lot to work through on the Gotham side with a coaching change towards the end of a season. So there's some real question marks if they can make a run or not. But just trying to get things started under Menzies in a positive direction here. It's a tough first game to go to Lumen Field.
And I think when you're 4-8, you're not necessarily worried about can we get into the playoffs.
Right.
You've just got to start playing better and get some results. But if they are thinking playoffs, this has to be considered a must-win match almost, because the Reign are the team they're chasing. 9 points behind. It's 11 points to the team that's, you know, right above them. That's Chicago.
Lavelle all alone takes a shot and she scores! Rose Lavelle puts OL Reign up on Gotham.
And if you're going to start to play better soccer and get results, this is not the way to do it. Off of a throw-in, the ball goes all the way to Lavelle, who's in behind by herself, and the left-footed shot is not going to miss. That is some 101 level defending there by Gotham that they were unable to execute on.
That's the 3rd tally of the season for Rose Lavelle. He's taken a lot of shots this year, the most on this team. But again, only had 2 goals until that one, and so efficient and clinical for Rose Lavelle. Like you said, a great throw-in and a breakdown for the Gotham defense.
So for the third consecutive match, OL Reign have a 1-0 lead and eyes on that all-time win record for Laura Harvey. They were not able to hold it in the last two. 1-1 draw in Louisville, a 2-1 loss at home to the Dash. But now some more tests for Gotham to see if they can start building an attack.
Fishlock. Push to Barnes. Haitama. Boxed out. Freeman gets in front. Barnes wants to go quickly. Again, just a staple with the Reign. I mean, for everything we said about having over 15,000 minutes for Barnes, I think the most impressive part of that is that they've all been in Seattle.
All with the Reign. She's been through ups and downs. Two different Laura Harvey eras. There's Hugh Menzies on the sideline.
King. Head-to-head with Jean. Now stuck in the corner for Gotham. Should be Reign ball. It is. Nope, just Gotham has to backtrack.
In 2016, Barnes was named the NWSL Defender of the Year.
Now we've got a pair of them with Didasco on the other side for Gotham. See Harvey, like you said, the leads haven't been particularly comfortable for the Reign. I'm sure she's not too concerned about personal records. Harvey does not strike me as a coach that cares too much about that, but she does care about 3 points, that's for sure. And for a team like the Reign that are just floating above that playoff line, this is an all-important game at home.
Yeah, I think for all the personal records, when it comes to a record involving wins, it's hard not to care about it because you just do want to win.
Yeah.
And we talk a lot on these games about the playoff line and the top 6, but don't forget, the top 4 get home games and the top 2 bypass the first round right into the semifinals. So yeah, you want to be in the 6 for sure, but within that top 6, you want to be as high as you can be to give yourself the best and smoothest possible way to get into the final, and the Reign have fallen a little bit in the last couple of weeks.
And especially for a team like the Reign that have had such a great fan base this season and have had so much success. Again, it wasn't until that Houston match in which they finally lost at home. Prior to that, 7 straight games without a loss at Lumen Field. So, you know, I think this is an absolute advantage for them. And it's been clear that, you know, on the flip side, they do not play well away from home.
One interesting note, though, about the Reign at home, that when they moved into their downtown Memorial Stadium in downtown Seattle back in 2014-15, they went 2 straight years there, didn't lose a single game at home either of those seasons. 2016 opening day, they lost at home, and that was Gotham, then Sky Blue, with a new head coach, Christy Holly, in his debut, won in Seattle. So there's a little precedent here with these 2 clubs and new coaches.
Mewis. Didasco has some time. Jean. Mewis. Back for Gotham, searching for the equalizer. Didasco flicks this one up. Here's a chance, and it bounces to Tullis Joyce. Waited for it. Yeah, again, just back to that point. Reign just have the 1 win away from home, and that was at Angel City. And you mentioned it before, it was a massive comeback, and you can't count on that to happen in every single match. And so they're looking for more consistency away from home, but at this point, all they're concerned about is this Gotham game and what should be a win on their side. Haitama blocks it away, and then it goes right to Betos. A dangerous moment for Michelle Betos.
That's some good hard work by Haitama, and if she gets around Betos after that initial block, it's an easy tap-in.
Well, Harvey didn't waste much time, just grabbing some big names when she had the chance. Obviously signed Tobin Heath. Her rights were traded from Racing Louisville, and I'm sure we're going to see Heath. We talked to Laura Harvey. She said Heath is pretty close to being ready to go the full length of the match. As Haitama deflected, tries it again, but of course Jordan Haitama was another big signing for Laura Harvey. Just 21 years old, was signed the 18th of June and already has made a ton of noise. She did obviously join Canada in CONCACAF play, but since she's been back and inserted into this lineup, the chemistry has been very strong, and it's clear the role she will play in Seattle for hopefully many years to come.
Don't forget, she's only 21, even though it feels like she's been around the game for a long time.
Here's Purse. Huerta, so steady in front. Jean tries a service over Monahan. Didasco puts one up, and Smith was closing in. Tullis Joyce had that squared.
That's well read by Tullis Joyce, because this is a very good shot taking her across with Smith bearing down, and if Tullis Joyce doesn't read that immediately, Smith's going to get on the end of it.
Huerta thought about it. Off her left foot. Rapinoe! No angle and still got a decent look. Let's see her giving some love to Huerta on the service. I mean, look, Sofia Huerta is second all time in assists in the NWSL. Only Jess McDonald has more, and Huerta's 2 away from tying that record. McDonald sort of sat stagnant in the last couple of matches, so Huerta could certainly make a run here.
And McDonald's on the second longest run of her career without a goal and assist.
Haitama gets tripped right at the edge of the box, and we will get a whistle and a free kick on the way for the Reign. A card is given out as well. Goes to Estelle Johnson.
I think that was accidental, but that's a foul you can't give away if you're Estelle Johnson. Looked like it might have even been a scenario where feet just got tangled up. Luckily for Johnson, it happened before Haitama got in the box.
Reign already up a goal thanks to Rose Lavelle. Searching for some insurance. See Fishlock and Rapinoe.
Either one of them looks like Fishlock will peel off and Rapinoe will take this, but either one of those two more than capable of scoring from this spot.
Some of the best in the league. Rapinoe sets up. Blast. Way too high. Well, Reign trying to get Rapinoe a second goal of the season because the first one was overshadowed by a loss.
Rapinoe's first goal in a year in a Reign uniform. But since she has come back to this team, she has looked good. She has played very vibrantly and defended, I think, better than she has in quite some time.
Yeah, when you ask Laura Harvey about Megan Rapinoe, I mean, at this point, there's just so much has been said about Rapinoe over the course of her career, deservedly so. Foul on Smith. Takes down Quinn. But the one thing that Harvey says is Rapinoe's a good role model for so many reasons, but she is the type of player that's always taking accountability for mistakes, or maybe she didn't have the best game and she is not going to blame others, and she thinks that this team has certainly learned from that and some of the failures that Rapinoe has had at some points during this season have actually helped this team, realizing that if someone like Megan Rapinoe doesn't always play at her best, you know, we can all survive those games ourselves. And this is, you know, an interesting mixture for the Reign of young players like Haitama, and then you have the seasoned vets like Fishlock, like Rapinoe.
If you go back to last season, they kind of took a one-year approach in 2021 when they brought in Marajan and Le Sommer, and they knew those players were going home for 2022. Those were loan deals from the parent club back in France, but they knew those players were going home to play in the Euros and then get ready for the World Cup. So they took basically one shot at it, and it was a slow start, and then Harvey came back after Farid Ben-Stidi was let go, and they really did play well second half of that season. But they got into the playoffs and got beat at home. They had a one-goal lead in that game too, in Washington, and got beat on a rainy day. And that ended that season in that experiment. So I give the Reign a lot of credit for being able to keep the chemistry and continue to build the roster in the absence of all the veteran international players they had here a year ago.
Well, they did have Kim Little on loan. This is the first game in 6 matches without her. She had started every match that she was available to Laura Harvey on loan from Arsenal. And now her time with the Reign is over, but certainly a nice spell for the legend in Little. In Seattle, Rapinoe enters the area. Lavelle. Rapinoe. Haitama crashing in, and Betos gets in front of that just in time. Rose Lavelle scored in the 15th minute. That's where we sit. 3rd goal of the year for Lavelle. King being pushed back by Zerboni. From Cook, floats it up, and now Lavelle corrals it in here for Reign. Moves it towards the middle to Rapinoe, and again Didasco denies.
Just in the nick of time. That was a well-meant ball in for Rapinoe, making the run at the far post.
I do think, as Lavelle just plays with it here, Reign are one of the most fun teams to watch in the NWSL because of the way they just connect on passes. And earlier this season, they had a goal that was 22 straight passes led to a Fishlock score. And it was one of the better goals that you'll see just from a teamwork perspective. And obviously when you have the likes of Huerta, who has 3 assists this year, and so many talented players, they're just incredibly fun to watch when they're firing on all cylinders, which they haven't been as of late. Rapinoe off the header, misses the target.
In that goal you referenced, there were all kinds of different passes. There were casual passes in the back, there were passes in and out of pressure, and then there was some spectacular stuff at the end, and all the players on the field touched the ball during that sequence too.
Yeah, Reign have completed more passes than any team in the NWSL except for one.
And they also seem to spend a lot of their time trying to make passes that matter. There was a point last season before the coaching change where the Washington Spirit wanted to come up with some certain number of passes completed, but it felt like sometimes they were just knocking it around between their backs just to achieve a number of completed passes rather than actually doing something incisive with the ball. The Reign feel like anytime they are on the ball, they are trying, as they pass the ball backwards into their own half here, but they are trying to really do something special and get forward with it.
Barnes, Fishlock. Fishlock goes down, will play on. Ooh, it does look like we will get a whistle, as again, Jess Fishlock a little shaken up after that call. Able to get up, let's take another look.
Zerboni coming in, got a late foot into Fishlock.
Well, Zerboni is one of those players that consistently gets called for fouls in her career, has the most. Bouncer to Betos, able to pick it up. Haitama wins it back, then Johnson pushes her down. Again, Estelle Johnson is playing on a yellow.
Is there a more entertaining coach in this league to watch on the sideline than Laura Harvey when the camera goes down that way? Always with the hands up in the air and sometimes leaning out as far as she can onto the pitch without actually stepping on.
Yeah, the Racing Louisville game was not fun for Harvey because her team didn't get the win, but boy, they had so many chances, and just the look on her face every time it didn't go in was meme-worthy for sure. Rapinoe, this one too low. Didasco, now Quinn. Betos stepped out anyway. This is going to be a corner because Betos picked that up while out of play.
She stuck her hands out. She knew she was close, but obviously the assistant referee saw the ball go over, so Rapinoe will go over and send in the corner kick.
From Rapinoe, it's up, back post, batted out by Betos. My goodness. That seemed like it could curl into the goal.
Almost an Olympico. Let's see if Betos actually deflects it out. I think that was headed in.
Yeah.
Well done by Michelle Betos.
Well, she'll have to try to do it again. See what Rapinoe does from this side. Does have 10 goals in her career against Gotham alone.
Right foot here, so this should be an outswinger.
From Rapinoe, the header from Haitama. Second chance from Cook and grabbed out of the air by Betos.
Well, if you're Gotham, you've got to win the second ball in a situation like that, but Betos does well to stick with it and collect it after two headers from OL Reign. And an immediate turnover by Gotham.
Here's Lavelle. Mewis, haven't said her name too much. All the way up for Gotham, at least some time to breathe. Now Smith, pass behind Midge Purse. Zerboni. Gotham just can't get anything going right now.
Now it looks very similar to the game against the Red Stars. Anytime they have possession, it tends to fizzle out right around midfield. Some poor turnovers in their own defensive third. Couldn't defend the throw-in, that's why they're down a goal.
Well, Reign have just one shot on target, but it's a goal. None for Gotham. Here comes Rapinoe. Rips it right to Betos.
There's two shots on goal now.
Yes. Up the touchline here for Gotham. Now move towards the middle. Off to Purse, waits for it. Huerta gets in front. Huerta now turn around, back to Alana Cook. Freeman.
So there, Gotham decides to go direct, but of all players, at the end of that Freeman ball is McCall's Zerboni, and multiple Reign players around, so Zerboni never really had a chance at it, but that's not the player you want to go direct to.
Yeah, you would want that Smith or Purse.
And as we said at the very top of the broadcast, the more time Midge Purse gets on the ball, the better, but she's barely had any of it today.
Yeah, Purse has 3 goals, and like you said, with limited touches at times. And that accounts for 33% of the scoring on the Gotham side. That's the 3rd highest rate in the NWSL. And again, the team as a whole just has 9 scores this year.
Well, they have had all but one of their games so far have been shutouts, either for them. All their wins have been by shutout, and of their 8 losses, they've only scored once. That was when they lost 4-2 to Houston.
Yeah, they've certainly had some issues. Shut out 7 times this year and 3 straight games too. Here's Lavelle off the cross. Haitama can't get the touch. Barnes right back at it. Quinn ricochets off a couple of players. Put up for Lavelle. And Jean, the last to touch. Another corner.
So there you have the one ball goes through the area, and Gotham can't get anybody there. And then just now, it's a corner kick that you probably didn't have to give up.
Rapinoe. King off the header and sails into the crowd here at Lumen Field.
Take another look at the outswinger, top of the 6th. That's pretty well placed. King should have done better with the header.
Zira King does have 2 goals this year for Reign.
Gotham almost got it over the midway line that time.
Zerboni. Didasco. There you go. For a second it was passed.
The long ball goes right to the keeper.
Well, Tullis Joyce has been challenged this year, but all in all, again, that center back pairing has been pretty solid, and then you've got Barnes and Huerta, so that's a very formidable defensive unit for Reign. So she walks into a great spot, but she did have to make 10 saves in the first loss to Washington. It's actually the only win that Washington has this season. It was a 2-1 loss to open the season for OL Reign, and one of a couple of battles with the Spirit early in the season and in the Challenge Cup. And then since then, it's been easier. Lofted up to Haitama. Fishlock thought about it. Now dish off to King. There's King. Goes to work. Shot blocked. Didasco. Purse looking to transition. Turnover. Bounces off of Huerta though. Gotham gets a break here. Fishlock. Little tap. Rapinoe.
It's just tentative play there from Didasco. She didn't drive the ball forward. She didn't take the space and get into the attacking third. Now they switch the point all over this.
Haitama trying to make some noise. Rapinoe takes it away from Jean. Rapinoe in the box. We got a penalty. PK on the way.
Talked about it a little while ago, how well Rapinoe has defended in the last few weeks. Here she sees that this is a tentative ball, that Jean's going to have trouble with it. She gets in, muscles herself in front. Jean takes her down, penalty and a yellow card to boot for Ellie Jean.
So now we've got Jean and Johnson with yellows on the defensive side for Gotham, and a PK on the way for OL Reign. Looks like it's going to be Rapinoe. Betos gets set. Fans on their feet at Lumen Field. From the spot, Megan Rapinoe. Rapinoe tucks it in the corner. The PK doubles the lead as Rapinoe scores in 2 straight matches, celebrates, and her team has some cushion in the first half.
The Reign had actually been 0 for 2 from the PK spot in the regular season this year, but Rapinoe, fantastic in her NWSL career. This makes her 11 for 12 in the regular season. Remember what she did from the spot in the World Cup 3 years ago to help the United States win that tournament. You see that look on Betos' face as if to say, yep, I did not go the right way this time. So Rapinoe creates it, Rapinoe finishes it.
Again, Lavelle in the 15th minute, now a PK for Rapinoe. Right at the end of this first half, if you're the Reign, this is the first half that you wanted. Getting 2 goals, allowing yourself some wiggle room should there be a Gotham finish, although it just doesn't look like Gotham has much of an answer to anything that the Seattle side is doing today.
Well, and I'll say what I said a week ago when Gotham went down 2-0. That was early in the second half to Chicago, is that they've got to throw caution to the wind here. Get numbers forward, get the ball forward, and at the very least, make the Reign uncomfortable at some point between now and the end of this match. It did not happen against the Red Stars. Now there's a new coach on the sideline. Will it happen? Here's a half opportunity to get started here with Mewis standing over the free kick.
Mewis on the free kick, straight to net, and it's over the crossbar and out. Yeah, you get the feeling, and this is true for a lot of teams moving forward, that you have to be pretty risky at this point. Because what is the difference really between a 3-goal loss and a 2-goal loss if you're Gotham? There isn't
There's
one.
none.
So
Not at all.
they just need to, again, make some, I don't even know if it's calculated risk. They just need to try their best to get on the board here, and I'm sure we're going to see some Anamanu come in the second half.
I think Dorsey has to be in
Yeah,
too,
Dorsey
assuming
too.
that both of them are, well enough to play the 45 minutes. I think they both have to be on it for the start of the second half.
Well, we said this in the open. Anamanu and Purse, they do pair up well together. We just haven't seen it much because there's been COVID issues throughout Gotham. They've both been on international duty, and so we might see it today. And if you're looking for a bright spot on the Gotham side, I do think that pairing is certainly one for the future.
They were a big reason why Gotham got into the playoffs last year.
Here's Lavelle. Slides and the touch is just a little off, but a nice feed from Rapinoe. We'll just get a minute of stoppage time here in the first half. Again, Reign with a 2-goal lead on Gotham at home in Lumen. Haitama disrupting.
Second time we've seen that in the first half.
does appear that Quinn just took a shot to the head. So they're going to go down. See Rapinoe and Haitama checking in. Anytime there's contact to the head, the training staff is going to come out here in the NWSL.
Just unfortunate there. Zerboni went down, tried to turn it upfield, and Quinn's head got in the way.
That will shake anyone up.
It sure will.
Quinn looks a little dazed. But if you're Gotham and you're going into, we keep talking about these risks, but we're not exactly giving examples. What do you think they have to do moving forward to at least get on the board, cut this lead in half in the second half?
Well, there needs to be better ball movement, and there needs to be better movement off the ball in order to get players open, because right now it looks like when the Reign have the ball that the Reign are playing 11v10, and then when Gotham gets the ball, it looks like the Reign are playing 11v10. So somewhere along the way there have to be open players on the field. So I think they need to move the ball quicker and get themselves into open spaces and just, play in a manner that will build the ball up the park. The one we commented on a few minutes ago, Didasco had an opportunity either to take space up the right side or maybe find a player, but she elected to stop and turn and then played it backward. And then a few minutes later, Jean finds herself with the ball at her feet, and it pops up, and Rapinoe comes around, draws the PK, and it's 2-0, and that's a situation where Gotham should have been on the attack.
Quinn is up. They appear to be all right. We'll see if they're able to check back in. An awkward fall from Rapinoe, and that will take us to halftime. He's joking around with Chrissy Mewis there as Rapinoe takes a banana peel spill at the end of the match, or excuse me, the end of the first half. Well, it's been a lot to smile about if you're on the Seattle side. 2-0 is the score. Dan, any thoughts here in the first half?
Well, what we've been saying is just Gotham is not doing enough to get the ball forward, and yeah, the Reign are playing better, but the two goals are both very preventable. One off a throw-in at midfield, and the other one off a really poor turnover that led to a PK.
Halftime at Lumen Field. OL Reign up 2-0 on Gotham FC. We played 45 minutes. Lavelle scored. Rapinoe scored. The Scars are out today in Seattle. halftime in Seattle, OO Reign, the home side, up 2-0 on Gotham FC. Again, we played 45 minutes. And of course, this is Sunday, so we had a whole bunch of NWSL games this weekend. On Friday was a scoreless draw between Houston and Racing Louisville. And then this Saturday matchup, if you're looking for goals, I think they saved all of them for this match, Dan.
Yeah, this was not a scoreless draw, and there were some really fun goals to be had in this match. That's Ordonez with one, and then look at this keep-in by Elizabeth Ball for the Current after Murphy taps out the corner kick. And it's 1-1, and the Courage say, all right, we can take the lead back. That's Davinia. And then Kansas City says, yep, not good enough. We'll make it 2-2. And the Courage make it 3-2. And then the Current come back. But then the pattern breaks, and just watch this goal.
It's unreal. Nothing to say.
Claire Lavoisier, first in the NWSL. That's one of the best I've seen in the 10 years of this league.
So it ends up being a Kansas City win, 10 straight without a loss for Kansas City on their way to what looks like a playoff run. And we will see then San Diego and Orlando. This was a nightcap yesterday. Some great opportunities for San Diego, but they couldn't convert.
That was the first minute. Here's their best chance of the match. Korniak will flick it to Morgan, who will hit the post. One of 2 times Morgan hit the post, but you know what? That's as close as the Wave got to scoring in this one.
Yeah, Morgan had a lot of opportunities. San Diego oftentimes was on the attack, but then a very clear handball against Kaylee Reel. That results in a penalty kick, and Doherty Howard converts.
That was all the scoring we would get. 6 in a row without a defeat for Orlando, who are, I don't know if they're hunting the playoff line right now, but they're closer than most people thought they would be, especially after the 6-0 loss to Portland.
Well, they've certainly made a case for most improved team in the NWSL over the course of this run.
From day one to now, I would agree.
And having gone to San Diego and pulled off a win, that is a nice little cap for Seb Hines and his side. Again, of course, tons of NWSL action over the course of the weekend, and we've still got this game going on right now, OO Reign and Gotham FC playing in the first half. We completed that, and we'll move on to the second half on the other side of the break. Actually, first we'll have highlights and first half stats, so we'll be right back with OO Reign and Gotham FC after this. halftime between Gotham and OL Reign. It's the home side up 2-0 at the break. Well, we've got some highlights so far in this one, and newsflash, it's been mostly the home team with the opportunities.
Yeah, it certainly has been. The score says it all. Here is a throw-in at midfield. Not the best touch from Estelle Johnson, and Rose Lavelle capitalizes by getting in alone on Michelle Betos and finishing. That made it 1-0, and for a team struggling to score goals, 1-0 can be a long, high mountain to climb.
And that was the third goal for Lavelle. Then we see a almost score off a corner kick from Megan Rapinoe. This nearly curled in. Betos denies, just punches it out in the nick of time. But Rapinoe not done yet. She draws a penalty, and then she's going to be the one to take it from the spot.
She has only missed one time in her NWSL career from the penalty spot, and this was not about to be number 2.
Yep, catches Betos going the opposite direction. Megan Rapinoe at the tail end of the first half gives OL Reign a 2-0 lead. Take a look at the stats from this one. As you see, all OL Reign. I mean, look at that shot difference.
I'd like to see the possession breakdown based on the different thirds of the field, because much more of OL Reign's possession than 51.3 to 48.7 happened in dangerous areas.
Well, again, OL Reign, a dominating performance so far after one half of play. We'll see if that continues in the second half against Gotham FC. 2-0 lead for the home side. We'll be back for the start of the second after this. Welcome back to Seattle. We played one half, and it's been all OL Reign. 2-0 is the score, as the Reign have benefit off of 2 goals. One from Rose Lavelle in the 15th minute, and then at the end of the first half, Megan Rapinoe buries a PK, and that's where we sit at the moment, as again we get prepared to start the second half in Seattle. This is the first time these two sides have played this year, and they will play once more on the 21st of September. And so this would be step 1 for OL Reign in completing a season sweep of Gotham.
You know, that's a midweek game at Red Bull Arena, September 21st. And right now the Reign have to be feeling pretty good about themselves with this 2-goal lead. We have mentioned throughout that they had a lead 1-0 in Louisville and were dominating that game, but gave up a late counterattack goal at the end of the first half. Couldn't get one by Katie Lund in the second, had to settle for 1-1. They were ahead 1-0 against Houston at halftime, gave up 2 quick ones early in the second, and lost that game, but this is a good get-well game so far for OL Reign. And if Gotham doesn't change things around, I just don't see how OL Reign will have any difficulty whatsoever seeing this out over the last 45 minutes.
Well, Rapinoe, 2 games, 2 goals for OL Reign. This one probably a little bit sweeter, just considering it might be on the end of a win for OL Reign. We've still got a lot of time for Gotham to make a run. But I was just reminded of this quote. I believe it was given at the beginning of the year, where Laura Harvey said, I would bet my mortgage that Megan Rapinoe would make a PK. She said that at the beginning of the year.
She said that after the when she came into the Challenge Cup semifinal and made a PK. She basically was not fit enough to play in the match, but came in the 90th minute just to take a PK and made it.
Yes, of course. So even though we don't advise it for Harvey, it might be actually a good bet. We will see some subs come in for Seattle.
And Tobin Heath is 1. So she looks like she'll get a full 45.
She's just steadily kind of climbing in terms of minutes, Tobin Heath. And it did look like Van der Yacht also came in as well.
And, you know, on the PK, a lot of times, you know, when a player has a high goal total, like Morgan has 11 goals, and you'll hear people say, oh, but 4 of them were from the spot. A goal is a goal, but in this particular case, Rapinoe not only took the PK, but Rapinoe was everything about that goal, because she got in, collected the ball that was meant for LEG, and drew the foul, and made the PK.
100% deserved it. Well, Gotham will start with possession. Zerboni in the center. They need an epic comeback here. This is a team that has not scored really at all this year. They've been struggling a lot. They've been shut out 7 times this season, and now they're going to need 2 in 1 half. It would be an epic comeback, especially for Gotham.
And that's just to get 1 point.
Right.
They are 9 adrift of OL Reign right now in terms of a playoff spot.
Well, it is tough for Gotham, I will say. Obviously, the Parkinson change, or at least the announcement, happened midweek, and so there's just been a lot going on for Gotham. Then you have to fly across the country and take on one of the better teams in the NWSL. Plus, you're missing Krieger, Harris, Yokoyama. Some of your depth is out. Krieger and Harris are both right now on excused absence, and Yokoyama is dealing with COVID protocol. Also Livingstone and Delaney Sheehan as well.
Players.
Aitama thought about a shot, instead a cross. Doesn't break through this time, and Lavelle's touch into the hands of Betos.
I was about to say players out for OL Reigns, Yara King and Quinn. Hopefully Quinn's departure not related to the ball off their face at the tail end of that first half.
Rapinoe takes a shot, blocked by Betos. Off the rebound, Aitama was almost able to finish. That was dangerous.
Aitama is still looking for NWSL goal number 1, but boy, she has spent an awful lot of time right inside the 18 and sometimes up by the 6-yard box. Have to think one is coming sooner than later for the young Canadian.
Again, King and Quinn both out for OL Reign, Heath, Von der Yacht. Those are the subs that we've seen so far.
Another look. Betos didn't quite get it cleanly, and Heidema was ready. Didn't get too far away from Betos, though.
Smith, clear foul. Taylor Smith tangled up with Hyatt.
Gotham does well to get a couple of players around Rapinoe and create the turnover. And Hyatt fouls Smith.
Christy Mewis. Free kick for Gotham. Still haven't seen Adamanu come in. Mewis. Tolis Joyce has it squared, knocks it down and covers. All the way up, bouncer to Heitema, heads it forward. Heitema so strong through the air. Mewis. Swing out wide for Gotham. This is better. Jean. Into the box. Goes out off of Purse. A little bit crowded in that area. Purse and Zerboni on top of each other. It does look like we'll see Jennifer Cujo takes out Christy Mewis.
A surprising substitute in the fact that Mewis is one of the better players in this Gotham midfield, but also I always wonder when a coach makes a substitution in the first 10 minutes of the second half is why did they do it now and not at halftime? So I don't know if Menzies saw something already from Mewis, whether Mewis maybe has something physically amiss. Cujo is definitely an energy player and someone that is worth bringing into a match when you're trying to mix things up, but it's confusing about the timing. So we'll see how things develop.
Fishlock tumbles down.
And look who's right in there. Called for the foul, though.
See Terran Torres and Cujo as well. Rapinoe, Barnes, both up for the free kick. One thing to note about the depth for OL Reign is they don't have Ali Watt today. All the way to Betos. Watt is out because of an excused absence, and so she oftentimes will come in at that forward slot. We won't see her today. And otherwise, OL Reign is pretty much healthy. It was a really heartbreaking loss to see Angelina go down for the remainder of the season. The knee injury, tore ACL, so she's out. And prior to international duty, Angelina had been very consistently in the starting lineup for OL Reign. Purse behind the net. Well, as expected, Amani Dorsey will enter the game. She'll take out Caprice Didasco.
Vasco has been coming out of matches more often lately than we've been accustomed to, and it looks like Jean will switch to the right. And Dorsey will take her usual spot on the left side, and we'll see if Dorsey can maybe apply some pressure on the attack for Gotham.
Rapinoe trying to split off Freeman, back for Gotham. Fishlock, now purse controls. Again, you see Hugh Menzies, the new head coach for Gotham, talking to his staff, hired on an interim basis for Gotham. And as said previously, was the head coach when Jamaica, on the women's side, made their first World Cup in 2019. The cross from Rapinoe offside.
I couldn't tell if that was Mewis who was getting a tape job on the Gotham sideline, but trainer was busy at work. Rapinoe just a touch offside. Otherwise, that might have been Heidema's first.
And of course, it starts with Tobin Heath. Heath is one of the all-time best distributors in NWSL history. Of course, she still holds the Portland Thorns record for most assists, 24 with the team. Just another great signing by Laura Harvey to pick up Tobin Heath. Acquired her June 16th, and again, 2 days later, they pick up Heitema, and you start thinking, with OL Reign, obviously had Kim Little on loan, and it was just a bunch of big names on this roster to pair up with the Rapinoes and Fishlocks and Huertas and all of the other names, Rose Lavelle. And now they're finally all playing together because everyone is trickled back from international duty or healthy, which was the case for Heath. Jean comes up on that right side, puts on a ball, and it goes to Tullis Joyce. Intended for Smith. Had some good power to it, but Tullis Joyce had it covered.
Gotham maybe working a little bit better in the second half, but also a slow start in general to the second frame.
And Harvey's side has a comfortable lead. They're trying to get her 82 wins. It would be an NWSL record for regular season victories. Laura Harvey, like you said, her second stint in Seattle. Know she has a lot of love for the organization and obviously came in with a winning mindset. Her first year back sort of picked up where she left off, and again, brought in big names. Obviously helps when you have so many players that are recognized on a national stage as well. And then you have someone like Tullis Joyce that has certainly made a name for herself in this new role as a starting keeper. Fishlock. 3 defenders on. She still fights for it. Now Rapinoe helps out. Swerving through Rapinoe, making this look so easy. Flick to Betos.
You mentioned Tullis Joyce, and goalkeeper was a big question mark coming into the season for OL Reign. They did have Sarah Bouhadi here a year ago. She was another international that came on loan for a 1-year only sort of arrangement. And Harvey was confident, even back to the Challenge Cup. She said, I have the deepest group of goalkeepers, not maybe the best, but the deepest group I've ever had. Tullis Joyce is the only one we've seen, but she's been good enough for sure. Goalkeeper is no longer something that people look at OL Reign and say, well, do they have enough to go far in the league this season?
Yeah, it started to kind of come alive in the Challenge Cup. Built a lot of confidence, and it's been pretty smooth sailing for Tullis Joyce. Heitema, Rapinoe. Jostled down by Freeman. Tackle. Push forward. Now Purse on the ball. A flick ahead until Joyce shuffles back before Smith comes racing in. Heath. Cook. Huerta. Lofted up for Lavelle. Cuts it back. Moves it to the middle. Cujo goes tumbling over Lavelle, but she earned it back for Gotham.
Lavelle had Rapinoe open, elected to keep it.
Fishlock. Full speed ahead again. Now Rapinoe on the wing. Give and go to Fishlock. A beauty. The cross in. Corner.
If that sneaks through, Tobin Heath was making the right run. You can see Fishlock not happy that she couldn't get it there.
A lot of times we have seen this season when Rapinoe was kind of in and out, Fishlock and Balser run a similar play, what we just saw. Expecting to see Balser at some point in the second half for Reign. Question is when. It's up from Rapinoe. Heath with the touch. Huerta waits for it. And Monahan swipes. Zerboni behind Purse. Monahan towards the middle. Back to Purse. And Hyatt's in front. Another takeaway for this defense on the OL Reign side. And I think that clearly, if you're going up against Gotham, you want to limit the touches to Midge Purse. That's sort of been the story of this one for Gotham offensively. They have not made any changes to that front group of Monahan, Purse, and Smith yet. Torres. Jean. Tackle by Barnes.
How good was that?
Unbelievable. Definition of a stonewall there. Lavelle from Key. Rapinoe onside. Rapinoe to Heath. The save by Betos. What a stop from Michelle Betos. Because that was goal number 3.
That was offside in the end on that final possession, but what a great sequence by OL Reign, starting with Lauren Barnes, the clean takeaway. Everybody reacts and everybody gets forward. Rapinoe there was on. It's that ball right there where the flag goes up on Heath.
Well, Betos still stopped it anyway. Other team was cheating. She got in front.
Must feel good to make a save like that regardless as we pass the hour mark. Gotham still desperate for goals.
See, Lavelle and Rapinoe are the 2 goal scorers today, both in the first half. Lavelle. Rapinoe. To Huerta. Now Heath. Monahan comes back. It's a takeaway for Gotham. The only thing is, if for Gotham, do you want Monahan coming back that far?
Well, you like the initiative for sure.
It's just, unfortunately, she has to do that.
You do want other players to be in that position so that Monahan can collect.
Well, here's Heath again. Puts it on, and it's just wide.
After Monahan took that ball away, it almost immediately went back to OL Reign. Contrast that with a minute or 2 ago when Barnes, the defender, made the takeaway, and then the entirety of the OL Reign team was able to push up for a counterattack.
Heath has scored. It was against Angel City. That was the last time that OL Reign won a game. Get a thriller on the road in LA. Came all the way back, and thanks to Heath won. They've had a draw and a loss since. And now at home, Lumen Field feel pretty comfortable. And 2-goal leads have just traditionally not been comfortable in the NWSL this year. We've seen a lot of stoppage time finishes and comebacks. However, just the lack of opportunities for Gotham makes you feel pretty good if you're a fan, a Reign fan. As Lavelle draws a foul. It does appear Fishlock is shaken up, so the training staff will come on. Still just the 1 shot on target for Gotham, 6 shots total. On the flip side for OL Reign, 17 shots, 4 on target. And of course they have the PK as well. Will serve as an opportunity for Gotham and OL Reign to talk to their prospective head coaches and reset as we trek towards the end of this match.
Still no Anamanu for Gotham, which has to make you wonder how available she is or how many minutes that she's available for. Fishlock tries to stretch it out.
Fishlock appears to be all right. See the fans out to support in Seattle. Always a great crowd. Fishlock gets some love for teammates. So the Reign have this match, and then actually their next matches are the Women's Cup. So they'll compete with Racing Louisville in the Women's Cup coming up 17th and 20th of August. They make it to the final. And it's Racing Louisville and then teams from all over the world. And that should be a good challenge for OL Reign, but it just comes at a weird point in the season. I think probably it can really help confidence-wise moving forward, or it can be the type of 2-game stretch that ends up really hurting your side. And for Racing Louisville, it kind of comes at a terrible time for them. But for OL Reign, could use it to project themselves in the back half of the season.
Yeah, Louisville had the reverse last year. They won that tournament and then kind of fell on some hard times. And they're now 10 in a row without a win in the league. So maybe it'll actually be a nice respite from that streak for Louisville. We'll see.
So again, the next OL Reign game is in the NWSL is the 26th against Orlando, and that's at Exploria. And I think at the beginning of the season, you mark that as a W right away. The way Orlando's playing, who knows? They've been winning ugly. Beat San Diego yesterday, 1-0.
Must have heard that we thought it was time for her to come in because she is warming up, getting ready to check in.
Heath, the cross, Betos. Slows here, the keeper today for Gotham. Gotham, got to try something. I know they're missing so much of their depth with COVID protocol or otherwise, but Anamano's their best option off the bench right now. See when she is able to come in. Purse.
I feel like they have enough players on the field that they should be putting on a better performance in this, especially for a new head coach.
Smith. Blocked away. Boy, Hyatt and Barnes and just defensively in general, even the shots that Gotham is taking, they're just cleanly getting blocked. Lofted head to Lavelle. Touch to Haitama, a beauty of a touch. Rolls around Haitama, and Freeman is able to push it out for Gotham.
Freeman did well to stay with that play. Looked like Haitama might have been able to make that turn and get off the shot.
Well, the build-up for OL Reign has been fantastic in the second half. We haven't had a goal yet as a result of it, but again, this starts with Tobin Heath.
Yeah, look how quick, and this is 2v3 here in the attacking third, and still Haitama almost able to get off a shot.
Haitama, Rapinoe, the blast is in! Megan Rapinoe with a brace, a rocket. And it's 3-0 OL Reign.
And it looked like Betos was going to make the save. She got a hand on it, but couldn't push it wide enough.
Well, go off Megan Rapinoe. She's now got 3 goals in 2 matches. And the last thing you want if you're a team going up against OL Reign is to start seeing more Rapinoe goals on a stat sheet.
It is certainly a correct thing to say. She was not a factor in the Challenge Cup except for that one PK we mentioned when she came in the last moment. PK is meaning from the spot after the tie match. We will finally get the appearance of Anamano, but probably too little too late. That is Rapinoe's first multi-goal NWSL game since June 12th, 2018.
It's been a very impressive stretch. And again, that felt like it was coming for the majority of the second half, the way that they had been playing. And it did feel like if they were going to score, it was going to come off of multiple passes and a cross for someone to finish Haitama. Instead, it comes from just a rocket of a shot for Megan Rapinoe. And again, 3 goals for this OL Reign side, and what a response to a loss last week that they're very disappointed in. Lost to Houston 2-1 as Smith through the air.
I stand corrected. Rapinoe actually had 2 multi-goal games last August, did those in consecutive games. It's kind of an interesting stretch because she hadn't played for the Reign in a while. Came in, played twice, had 4 goals and an assist, and then didn't play again for 5 matches. Before that, it was 2018.
Well, remember Rapinoe does damage against everybody, but she does a weird amount of damage against Gotham. This is now 12 goals against Gotham FC in her career. And Rapinoe, of course, is one of the all-time leading scorers in NWSL history. After today, she now has 43 career goals. 37-year-old absolute legend.
Those goals include a hat trick in one of the wildest NWSL games ever back in 2017 when Reign, then Seattle Reign FC, and then Sky Blue FC were the names at the time, and the Reign were up 4-0 in that game at Memorial Stadium. Sky Blue came back, tied the game at 4, and then Rapinoe's 3rd goal for the hat trick made it 5-4. And ironically, they played again a few weeks later at Sky Blue, and the Reign had a 3-0 lead in that game, and Sam Kerr scored 4 times, and Sky Blue won that game 5-4.
Smith! Taylor Smith responds for Gotham. That's her 2nd goal this season with Gotham FC. That will silence the crowd.
Yeah, that kind of came out of nowhere for Gotham, and they finally get on the scoreboard. And at the very least, it has to feel good that they can connect on one. Taryn Torres makes that first pass, and then Lorraine can't clear it out. And finally, Gotham able to collect the ball in a position where Reign defenders were off balance a little bit, and Smith moves into the vacated space and beats Tullis Joyce.
Well, Anamanu's back and makes some noise already. Huerta off across to Fishlock, bounces. So again, in the 72nd minute for Taylor Smith, she scored a game winner against Racing Louisville. As this one lofted in, and there's a response. Rapinoe to Heath. And it goes in off a defender for Gotham.
Well, that doesn't feel too good for Gotham because they just scored the goal. We were barely even settled back in. And it looks like Mandy Freeman, and that'll be 2 games out of 3 with an own goal for Mandy Freeman.
Four goals for OL Reign. I was going to give this stat before that, which is that they'd only scored 3 one other time as a win against Angel City. Well, this is the most goals they've scored in a single game in the regular season this year. Just a very strong offensive output. They've all looked a little bit different. Obviously, Lavelle got us started in transition, and a PK from Megan Rapinoe. Then we see a blast from just inside the box from Megan Rapinoe, and now we see an own goal off Mandy Freeman of Gotham. And again, that just rounds out 4 goals for OL Reign. 2 in each half now.
And Gotham has now given up 4 in San Diego. They gave up 5 in Portland. They gave up 4 at home to Houston. They've given up 4 today to OL Reign. They've also given up 3. Once to San Diego at home, once to Chicago at home, once in the Challenge Cup to Washington at home. We've talked a lot today about Gotham's woes going forward, but it's really been 2 ways for this team. Just a complete inability to keep games close sometimes.
Well, it does appear we're going to see Bethany Balser. She'll take out Megan Rapinoe. You can hear the crowd as Megan Rapinoe exits with a brace. And this is the beginning of the Megan Rapinoe run. As you pointed out, Dan, she earned the penalty. Then she takes it, hits it, and then here's the next opportunity. It actually starts with Haitama.
This is just a world-class finish on one touch. Betos got a hand on it, but still not enough. She shoved it into the side netting. And the PK, though, that was really the backbreaker to make it 2-0 close to the end of the first half. And it's all smiles as Rapinoe takes a seat next to Ziara King, who started the match alongside her.
Yeah, if this score stands, that would be the game winner, the PK. And of course, Balser comes in. Balser had missed 3 games with an illness and now returns for the Reign. 4 goals this season.
And before that, Balser, who was an undrafted rookie free agent in 2019, had never missed a regular season match for OL Reign. She was 1 short of tying Lauren Barnes' club record of 60 straight appearances. It was 59 in a row for Balser. Was unable to answer the call for number 60, and after 3 out, must feel nice to get back in. And kind of a low pressure 15 minutes here, so she'll just get to run around, get the feel of what it's like to be back in a match, and unless something very strange happens, it'll be a fairly straightforward 15.
There's Balser off to Tobin Heath. Fishlock charging in the box. Heath takes it herself. And it's through the air and out. Again, it does appear Gotham is looking at their 4th straight loss And it would be loss number 9 on the year. Feels like this might put them out of the playoffs too. Smith.
Well, if it stays like this, they will be a minimum of 11 points behind the playoff line. That could get higher because the Red Stars would be 6th if the Reign get these 3 points and the Red Stars play later. I know Gotham has more games left than most, but it's a long way back.
Jean. Chipped out. Well, Gotham's next game is against Houston. Doesn't get much easier. That's on Wednesday. And so the turnaround is quick. And their schedule is pretty rough. I mean, look, there's no gimmies in the NWSL. That's been clear this year. But Gotham has to deal with Houston, Orlando, then Angel City, North Carolina. They've got a lot of games to make up because they had some COVID issues early. But of course, they'll face the Reign again, this time at Red Bull Arena. That's going to be on the 21st of September. Fishlock. Purse back to play defense. Purse with the tackle. It's clean. Fishlock on the ground. Still tries to play it. Purse back the other way. Now Zerboni. Again, Taylor Smith has the lone score for Gotham. Cross, Torres misses, Purse has a chance. Tries to find Adamanu, and Heath and company tap it out. I mean, look, we've seen the best offensive moments from Gotham since Adamanu came in. I don't think that's fluky. Haitama and Harvey talking things over. Haitama has come so close to getting that first NWSL score, especially today. It's going to happen sooner rather than later, I think. Purse. Balser. Bonner-Yacht. Off to Heath. Sort of the knock on Reign had been in their last 2 matches, just the 1 goal. Balser almost able to head that home. And they just hadn't been able to finish well. And I know Harvey had kind of discussed that as being a theme throughout the entire year. At the beginning of the season, she said, look, half of this is just believing that you're going to finish and putting it all together. And everything was going right for OL Reign in terms of the build-up. The passes have been so beautiful, and just there was so many opportunities missed. Today could be a launching point as they were able to convert 3 different times in the run of play.
I wouldn't call this a comprehensive performance by OL Reign, but maybe a necessary performance from OL Reign. And for the first time in a while, the scoreline seems to match the play on the field between the 18s.
Yes, because 2 games ago, this probably should have been the final against Racing Louisville. And ultimately was not, as Haitama's down, training staff is out. But, I mean, I mentioned the fact that Reign's competing in the Women's Cup. So that's 2 games for them, the 17th and 20th. So pretty quickly in succession in August. And then their schedule it's still pretty tough. So they've got Orlando, then a little bit of a break for the FIFA International window, then Chicago, North Carolina, Gotham again, Houston, and Orlando. So that's the final for OL Reign. It's actually a couple of teams that they haven't played that they'll play 2 times at the back half of the season. But that Chicago game, North Carolina, I mean, actually it appears they're going to run into some really hungry teams towards the end of the season. Obviously, the NWSL season goes until the first weekend of October. That's the regular season. And we'll get into playoffs.
Top 6 make it, as we make a point on that often, especially in the last few weeks. Top 2 get byes to the semifinals. 3rd and 4th teams get first-round home games. Last year, the Reign had that bye and then lost to Washington. Gotham were a visiting team in the opening round and lost 1-0 in Chicago.
Those 2 would end up playing for the championship, and Washington just barely edging out Chicago 2-1 in the final. It does feel like Chicago is going to get there again, the playoffs, and Washington not so much.
You can check out Chicago for yourself, and got about a 3-hour window in between the end of this one and they kick off with Red Stars in Angel City.
Barnes. Balser. No rush for OL Reign. And it was a big surprise to lose to Houston at home. They've just been so phenomenal at Lumen Field. So to follow up with a win, a very decisive one, would be great for Harvey and company. Lavelle. Fishlock. Went out.
When we talk about the playoffs and about Laura Harvey looking like she's on the verge now of actually breaking that record, she'll pass Paul Riley and Mark Parsons for the most wins, but I think Laura Harvey would tell you that Parsons and Riley both have things that she does not, and that is NWSL championships. Harvey's trophies case consists of 2 NWSL shields with this Reign team 2014, 2015, but they got beat in the final both years by FC Kansas City, coached by current U.S. national team coach Vlatko Andonovski.
Well, this should be a storyline too throughout the season. On the flip side, kind of a different storyline, but where does Gotham go from here under Menzies' leadership, and what changes does he make? Because it appears that he just didn't have enough time, and he did not tinker with this starting lineup at all today. And of course, like I mentioned, they've got some players out.
Well, he won't have a ton of time between now and Wednesday
Right.
when they go to Houston either. But I guess you have to hope that Dorsey and Anamano can start the match on Wednesday, and just, again, I don't know what you can accomplish in training because they'll probably, if they fly out tonight, they're in Houston on Monday. Maybe you'll have one day on the training ground, and there will still be some recovery elements to that. But somehow there needs to be more confidence in the group getting forward. And that it just seems lacking. It's not even the ability to get forward so much as the confidence to do it. The farther up the field you go, the more a turnover becomes okay, in the sense that, as an attacking player, yeah, you can turn the ball over. You can't turn the ball over the way they did when Ellie Jean was in the 18 with her back to her own goal, and then Rapinoe comes in and takes it away and draws the penalty. That you can't do. But going forward, it's okay if you turn the ball over. Kind of like what you were saying about Harvey earlier in the year when the Reign weren't scoring, that, we can't be afraid to miss. You can't be afraid to have things not go well when you get forward.
Well, we have seen some changes for OL Reign. They've put in Nikki Stanton, and they're right back at it. Heath goes down.
That is a turnover that you can't have.
Well, it's actually going to be a free kick now. So it looks like they will put Stanton in at some point. We did have a change. Veronica Latsko came in for Haitama. Well, if you're OL Reign, why not make it 5? That's what they're going to go for.
Why not?
All right, so again, I predicted the future. Here comes Stanton. Takes out Jess Fishlock. Serves as both a chance to get a player like Fishlock off and also to get this applause. They deserve it. It's been a very strong all-around performance from OL Reign today, as again Nikki Stanton steps on. All right, it appears that Keith or Rose Lavelle will take this. Betos gets prepared. It's Heath on net, and Betos is able to save.
Not a bad set piece. Got it over the wall, made Betos do some work. 90th minute now.
Smith. Smith is tripped. Yeah, this is the first time that we're seeing her and Purse and Anumanu work together. And that was the whole point. So we do see a yellow card given out.
If you didn't waste much time there going in the book.
So that's the first yellow card for anyone on the Reign side. We will see 4 minutes of stoppage time here in the second half. Taryn Torres up on this free kick. Tolis Joyce moving her defense over. It's Heath and Lavelle. From Torres. And again, it's Barnes in front. Besides that one quick breakdown, obviously defensively, the Reign have been very strong. I know Harvey's not going to be happy with it. This is a team that is obviously aiming for a shutout every time. You know, we've talked about Gotham being shut out 7 times this season, but the Reign have, with Tolis Choice and net, shut out 6 opponents this season. Only Portland's done it 6 times as well.
Harvey said we want to be tough to play against.
Barnes looking for options. Off to Balser. Cujo. Now Ellie Jean. Purse. Tackle again by Barnes. Just making it so difficult. Purse has to feed it back to Jean.
Another thing Gotham can do, maybe on some tape, is to figure out why they can't get Midge Purse the ball in more dangerous areas.
There's a lot of question marks for Gotham moving forward, and I don't think the answers are going to come quickly. It's just a matter of improving. By the end of the year, feeling like you've put yourself in a good spot for next season, it appears. And obviously they're a club in general that's taking steps in the right direction. Trying to build a fan base. They've announced some big time investors as of late. Kevin Durant, Sue Bird, and Eli Manning. Let's go. Off the back of Balser. Now collects to Lavelle. One final push for OO Reign. Rose Lavelle searching for the brace. Pushed out by Dorsey. Vonderjagt with the swing. Alana Cook, the backtrack. Lavelle again. Had the first goal for OO Reign. We've seen 3 since, 2 from Rapinoe and 1 own goal. That own goal came intended for Tobin Eve. Instead it went off the head of Mandy Freeman. Purse. Here she comes. Midge Purse. Both Hyatt. As looks like Purse is down. Again, Hyatt got some help on that one to collapse in. And now Purse. Hate to see this late in the match.
She seemed to wave off assistance. And Gotham will get one more chance to cut the deficit.
From Torres. Off the head of Nikki Stanton. Let's go. And that will take us to the end of the match. OO Reign with a complete performance. They rallied a Megan Rapinoe brace to victory. 4-1 the final. Again, Reign defeats Gotham FC, and Laura Harvey makes history. She is the winningest regular season coach in NWSL history. 82 career wins for Laura Harvey.
She's done a majority of that with the Reign. Started out as their founding coach. There were some dark years, couple of shields. Spent 2 seasons in Utah and a little bit of time out of the NWSL, but here she is as the all-time record holder. And when you're a struggling team facing an inferior side, this is the kind of result and performance you want.
Well, we'll break down this match between Gotham FC and OO Reign on the other side. Again, Seattle side coming out with a big victory, 4-1 the final score. We've got highlights coming up after this.